Excel has been such a huge business tool that every company has started using it, and as a matter of fact, Excel has become their go to tool for their business purposes. To have a round figure, there are over 750 million Excel users around the globe. So, today in this video, we are going to deploy some cool tips and tricks that will surely help you while working on Excel.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.
Alright, guys, so now let's get started with the basic level of tips. So, for that to happen, let's directly move to the Excel Live Workbook. So, here I have my Excel Live Workbook, and the first tip that we are going to discuss now is auto width. Now, hearing to the term auto width, you might think that this is something really advanced, but to be honest, this is just a term. It is a very simple concept. Now, for example, let me explain this tip to you. Now, you can actually see here that the name or the score 2, 3 is missing, or the in the places column, you can see the Tamil Nadu, the T is not visible, the U is not visible, or in Maharashtra, it's not really aligned properly. Now, as beginners, we used to actually drag it and leave it. See, so that we can actually read the concept. Now we are going to drag it and see. Now we can read Tamil Nadu. But in some places, we will not be able to see Madhya Pradesh is not actually visible. So we actually don't know what amount of width is actually required or length is actually required. So in case of column C here, you can see here this Maharashtra, this is actually not visible. Now I actually moved drag this a little bit and now it's visible. Now here you can see there is unnecessary width that is provided, so we can actually reduce it. It's visible. So these kinds of irregular organization can be actually avoided. So that's the actual tip that I'm going to tell you. Now I'll just undo whatever I did now. So now if you go, you need not drag each and every time. You could just actually double click on whichever column or row you want to adjust. So if you go and click on, just now I actually adjusted the column, I'll just undo it and show it to you again. See, now I double click on the column and it just got adjusted to the entire maximum width. And then I actually went to the row and I adjusted, and see, you can see that now Maharashtra is clearly visible. Now if I go to the extra width that is not required and click here, double click, see, it actually aligned itself. Now I'll just undo whatever I did again. See, now this is also a little bit tedious task when there is a lot of data, right? So now nice basic level tip that I'm going to tell is, go ahead and click on the corner of the tip and then click the any of the column that you want to get it aligned. See, now the entire column gets aligned properly, and now you can read the entire columns perfectly. Now when you click the column, all the columns in the Excel spreadsheet gets aligned properly in a readable format. Now going to the rows, when you go ahead and click on any of the row that you need to realign, just go ahead and double click. See, now it's so beautiful to watch, right? So this is what is auto width. So this is the tip that I wanted to tell all you beginners. Like if you go ahead and click on the corner button, now I'll just show it to you again by undoing whatever I did. Now see, go to the top of the corner, click on this so that captures the entire spreadsheet. Now go to the column and click on any column that you want to realign. See, it realigns all the columns in the spreadsheet to a perfect readable format. Now go ahead with the row and go ahead and click on any row that you want to realign. Just go ahead and double click and see, it's aligning every content that is required in a proper readable format. So that is the first tip that I want to discuss with you, that is auto width. So now let's move ahead with the next tip, that is flash fill and autofill. Now, to start off with, we'll begin with autofill. Now, if you're a beginner and you want to fill the cell with the same number or a content into every cell, as a beginner, you will go ahead. For example, I want the number one to be filled in the following cells. So I go ahead and enter one and in each and every cell that I want to enter. Now, there is another option. If you go ahead and click one, and then if you just drag down to the cells where you want the one to be copied, you could just fill it there. This is known as autofill. Now, if you want it to be a sequence like 1, 2, 3, 4, you can actually use that too. That is also possible in autofill. Now, if you hit 1, 2, and you select these both and drag it down till where you want it to, it will go ahead and print till 7 how many cells are selected. So this is how, if you want to do it till 10, you go ahead and drag it till 10. This is how autofill actually helps you a lot in increasing your productivity. Now this is also applicable in the names of the months. Now if I go ahead and click January, February, then if I just go there and click and drag it down till 10, you can see that I can get the name of the month till October. Now this is also applicable to dates. Now 1/01/2021. See, now this is one date. Then I go ahead with the second date, 2/01/2021. Now I go ahead and drag these two till 10, and you can see that I got the dates as well. So this way autofill is a very helpful method to actually fill down data till wherever you want it. So this way you could actually increase a lot of time while you're working on Excel workbooks. Now talking about flash fill. Now you might receive a lot of data. For example, a data like email IDs of people. So here I have a few email IDs of people. Now I want to extract the name of the people from these email IDs. So I'll just create a cell name, that is name, and I'll just make it bold. Okay. Now I am trying to take the names and make a cell, make a column out of this. So I'll go ahead and click Rohan Sharma, then Rohit Kumar. See, as you hit Rohit, you can see that Kumar and then the rest of all the names Lily, Freddy, Rose, Anthony, Darwin, Malan, Moin Ali, Sagar Elias, it's already coming there. This is what is known as flash fill. This is Excel's pro tip that actually helps users to actually fill in the data easily because the Excel understands the pattern and then helps us to fill the data as fast as possible. So this is what is known as flash fill. So if you go ahead and enter the enter key, you can see that all the names of the people whose IDs are present comes in the column of the name. So this is how you can actually use both flash fill and autofill to increase your productivity. So now let's move ahead with the next tip, that is freeze pane. Now after hearing the term freeze pane, you might have got some idea of what this tip is going to do because the term has freeze in it, right? So it's basically going to freeze some columns or rows. Okay, so this is actually a very helpful tip when you have a lot of data and you need to track down one particular data. So for example, let me show you. Now in this example, you can see that I have a lot of data that I need to scroll down vertically as well as horizontally. Now think of a situation where I had to actually calculate or track down the score of Chaitya, and I need to track down the 20th score of Chaitya. Okay, so 20th score is here. Now I have to understand. Now I actually lost the track of Chaitya. I have to go back here and then click on where is Chaitya's row. Yeah, here. So now you can see that now the 20th column just got disabled. So this way I'll lose a lot of time in tracking down that this is Chaitya's score number 20, right? So instead of losing a lot of time in tracking down one particular column, you could actually go ahead and freeze the cells that you actually want reference to. So basically, I'll show you this with an example. Now click on the cell above which and towards the left where you want to freeze the cells. So basically I want to freeze the cells to the left of Tamil Nadu and and whatever is above Tamil Nadu. Okay. So now I'll click on the cell Tamil Nadu, go to view, and then I'll go there and freeze the panes. Now what is actually happening is whatever is to the left of Tamil Nadu and whatever is above Tamil Nadu is getting freezed. Now if I go ahead and scroll down, you can see that whatever is above Tamil Nadu has got freezed. And if I scroll sideways, you can see that whatever is to the left of Tamil Nadu is getting freezed. Now, if I want to go ahead and actually find out what is the score of Chaitya in the 20th score 20, see now. 20th score, Chaitya is 46. So it's very easy to track records, right? So now if you want to go back to normal, you just can go ahead and go and click unfreeze. Now it will go back to normal worksheet mode, and that's how you can actually use the tip that is freeze pane to actually track any record in a huge chunk of data. All right. Now moving ahead with the next tip, that is show formulas. Now, basically, in a Excel formula spreadsheet that you're working on, there might be numerous number of formulas. So, in order to find what formula was behind each cell, you'll have to click on each cell and go to the formula bar to identify what kind of formula it is. So, basically, here, what is the formula? You have to find out what is the formula that's going here. Here, is there any formula? So, in order to find the formula that actually is under each cell, you just have to go to each and every cell, right? So now this can actually be made easier. Now by using the shortcut key, that is plus the tilt, you can actually find whatever formulas that are being used in the cell. It will just get popped up in front of the cell. Instead of the formulas getting behind the cell, it will show whatever formula is beneath the cell. Now that's a pro tip that you guys can use to analyze and understand what formula was used in each and every cells. So in order to make this worksheet or spreadsheet come back, you just have to use the same shortcut key, that is control plus tilt. That is the way you can see that the Excel sheet has come back to its normal pace. Now I'll just show it once more. See, this is the formula that was used here, D6 star E6 minus F6. I'll just hit control plus the tilt option, and you can see that whatever formula was there in this column it's showing, and whatever formulas are used inside the entire sheet is being shown in front to us. Now that's the tip that I was talking about by showing formulas. All right, now moving to the next step, that is paste special. Now, what is paste special? Now, basically, when you're copying this content, you use Control C and then you go ahead and click Control V. Now, but you can see that even the formula, what is beneath the cell, is also getting copied, right? But as a user, you don't want the formula to be copied. So, what do? That's where paste special comes into play. Now, I'll just undo whatever we just did. Okay. Now I'll copy this, whatever I want to copy. I'll go there and hit copy. Go to the cell where I want the data to be copied. Now see, here we have the option of paste special, right? Go ahead and click there. Now see, they ask us what we want to copy, right? So here I just want to copy the values because I don't want the formula that is beneath it. So I'll go ahead and click the values and click OK. See, now what is happening? If I go ahead and see there is no formula beneath 2610, whereas when I did this here, when I copied earlier, I'll just show you again. I here went here, Control C, Control V, and when I click here, see there's a formula that is beneath here. So this is how actually paste special works. When you just want to copy the values, or if you just wanted to copy the formulas, you can actually use that, where you just have to click the option of formulas. So this is how paste special is actually helpful to the user. All right, guys. So moving ahead with the next step, that is transpose. Now, a transpose basically you might have learned in your maths a subject like transpose of a matrix, right? The same is the concept in Excel also. If you want to change the orientation of the data that is being inside a spreadsheet, you can go ahead and use the following tip. Now go ahead and select the range of cells that you want to transpose. So go ahead and click on the copy option. Then click on the cell where you want it to get transposed to. Now click on the cell, right click and go there to the same option that we discussed earlier, that is paste special. So here, when you look in the down, you can see that transpose. So click on the transpose option and click OK. Now you can see that the entire data that was here gets transposed in this way. So this is how you can actually use the transpose option or the tip to actually change the orientation of the data to look good, right? So you can actually alter the way you want your data to look. So that's how you use the transpose option. Superb. So now that we have completed with the basic level of tips in Excel, let's move ahead with the intermediate level of tips. So to start off with, we will begin with the absolute cell reference. Now, to make you this concept or this tip more clear, I have actually made it into a real-time example. Okay, so I have taken the example of supermarket billing. So in the supermarket, the supermarket owner has decided to give 10% off in every product item that the customer purchases due to some festive offer. Okay, so this is the purchase history of a customer. So this is the quantity of item that the customer has bought, and this is the cost or the price of the each item. Okay. Now discount is what we are going to calculate using a formula, and the total is actually calculated based on the number of total amount of price, that is quantity into the price minus the discount. Okay. So now we have to calculate the discount. So in order to calculate the discount, let's put in the formula. So equal to, I'll put in a bracket. So the number of quantity of items into the price of the item, and then I'll put in the discount percentage. Yeah. Now I'll go ahead and hit enter. So now you guys can see that the discount is calculated for the first item, right? That's 290. Now I have to calculate the discount for all the items. So I'll just try to drag it down and copy the formula to the bottom. But as you can see that it's showing 000. But if you do it in a mathematical point of view, it should actually show some value, because 10 percentage of this much 35 into 325 is not zero, right? So what is happening here? So when you just click on this cell, you can see that it's actually using the J4 cell. J4 is this cell to actually calculate the discount. But the J4 cell is actually empty, and that's why it's showing the result as zero. The same it happens in this cell and the next one as follows, because it's calculating with respect to J5 and J6 cell. Now 10 percentage discount, since we dragged it down, it's actually using the cell references and calculating the making taking the discount in the next coming cells. And but since the those cells aren't having any content in it, it's actually taking it as zero. Now we need to understand that the discount for all the items is the same. So what we have to do is, I'll just undo what the copy that I made. I'll go to the formula of the first one, and I'll make this as an absolute cell reference. In order to make it absolute cell reference, you just have to add a dollar symbol in front of J and in front of 3. Now J is the column and 3 is the row. See, so I just made it added dollar symbol in front of both J and 3 and hit the enter button. Now if I go ahead and drag it down, you can see that the discount for all the item is calculated and the total is become 36,000. Now 4,000 rupees is the discount, and before it the total was 40,000. Now 40,000 minus 4,000, the discount became 36,000. So all the calculations are done perfectly. So that's how you actually use absolute cell references. If you have to use the reference of one cell for a lot of calculation, you just have to put the dollar symbol before the column and the row specifications, right? So that's how you use absolute cell references. So next up, we have text to column. In our day-to-day life, we use a lot of Microsoft Office suites like Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint. So there is a lot of data that comes in that type of files too, right? So this is a kind of example wherein I had got the data of a few names in a Word file, and I actually tried to copy down into a Excel file. Okay, so these names were actually sent to me in a Word file with which was separated by commas, and I actually wanted each of these names to be in different columns. But when I tried to copy it from a Word file and put it into an Excel file, they actually came out into one column. But that's not what I expected it to. So in these kind of cases is what the text to column tip actually helps a lot, because in these kinds of situations what the people who don't know about this tip do is they try to copy only Rohan and put it into one column, then copy Rohit and put in another column. So this is going to take a lot of time. Now, what I'm going to discuss this tip is now, let's go ahead and understand it practically. See, now you just have to go ahead and select the entire range of what you want to convert the text into columns. Now go to the data options. There you can find an option known as text to columns. Now go ahead and click over there and choose the file type and the best describes your data and click on the delimited. Now go ahead and click on the next option, and you can see that the delimiters, they're asking for delimiters. So basically the delimiters are the things that separate the data. So basically here Rohan is separated by Rohit with a comma, right? So that's a delimiter. So delimiters can be a semicolon, a comma, or just a small space between, or even a tab space between them. So here the delimiter they have used is comma. So I'll go ahead and click comma, and if it's if the delimiter is not provided or just a space, you just uncheck the comma and click on the space. Now as soon as you do that, you can see a data preview that is given here. So here you can understand what kind of data output are you going to find out when you click on the next and finish option. Now we'll just go ahead and click next, and they ask us what is the kind of column data. We'll just put general because it's convert numeric value into numeric, data values into date values into date, and all the remaining into text. So we'll just put it as general and click on the finish button. Now, as you can see, each and every name is gone into different columns, and that's what I expected. So this is the tip that actually converts when you try to copy something from a Word file and is delimited by a comma or a space. You can actually convert it into different columns by using this text to column tip. So the next tip we have is image in charts. Now, this is a tip where you can use actually to enhance your presentations or whatever analysis you have done. So basically, I have used a small data to actually explain how to use this tip into your presentations. So now, actually, I am here talking about four sports, that is football, basketball, cricket, and volleyball, based on their popularity. So this is just a random assumption of like football is the famous, second comes cricket, then comes basketball, and then volleyball. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a chart. So I'll click on the range, go to insert option, create a 2D chart, and there you go. There you can see on your screen that I have got a 2D chart. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the image of a related picture of the particular sport. So for football, I'll put a football. For basketball, I'll put a basketball. For cricket, I'll put a cricket bat and a ball. And for a volleyball, I'll insert the picture of a volleyball. Now to do that, I'll just have to double click on the chart, and you can see there is an option that comes on your right, that is format chart area. Now here you have to first click on what are you going to insert here. So which area you want to insert. So I am clicking on this football bar that I want to change. I'll go to picture, and see it's already one whatever was previous was inserted here, but it's a volleyball. Now I want to insert picture from a file, go to the place where my file is stored, and see here I can find my football and go there and insert my football. Yeah. Now basketball, do well, let's do the same. Go ahead and insert basketball. Cricket, I have a cricket bat and a ball. Yeah. And volleyball, that was the first picture that got inserted. And here you go. Now, to even beautify your image, you can just go ahead and solid fill or gradient fill so that your chart looks even more beautiful. So that's how you actually insert images into your charts. So now when you look at the chart itself, you can see that you might not even require this column. You can just delete off. This actually provides more clearly that this is football that we are talking about, basketball, cricket, and volleyball. So this is how adding images can make it more attractive to the viewer's attention, and it is easier to make them understand that this is the popularity of football, cricket, then basketball, and then volleyball. So it makes your presentation more evident, right? Yeah. So next up we have quick analysis tool. Now this is a tool that we all might have seen the option to use, but have most of us have ignored. That is the amount of ignorance we have, I think, because we might have seen this option of quick analysis tool every time we select a range. You guys don't believe me? Let me show it to you. Now see, the data that I've used here is the stock prices of some stocks, that is ITC, Aditya Birla Group, then Tata Motors, Reliance, Infosys, Wipro. The cost of amounts is not even comparable. This is random amount that I've put. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the range, right? When I select the range, if you can, do you guys observe any option of quick analysis tool? See, this small thing over here is what is known as quick analysis tool. Now, when you click on this option, you can see that number of things that you can actually do with this range. Now, you can do this, you can add color to whatever the numbers, then you can select icon, greater than, then top 10 percentage, clear, then you can actually click on charts. See, that's one option. See, this is a lot of things that quick analysis tool that we might have missed because we don't actually put our concentration to it. This actually provides a lot of options. See, this is scattered chart. Then we have there's a lot of options that quick analysis tool actually provides us. Then we have table. See, that's a table that we converted the table. So there is a lot of option that quick analysis tool gives us. So then we have, let's see other options as well. So next up we have spark lines. So this is spark lines for individual lines. So like the, how did the so for example in this case, since it's a stock, we can say that the ITC stock grew from 200 to 250. That's an upward trend. Then Aditya Birla Company from 400 to 345 it came down. So the trend is downwards. So these are the kinds of things that we could actually use from that could actually put in from a quick analysis tool. I know you guys might have not noticed this, right? Yes, that's true. That's why I'm here. Now let's move on to the next step, right? So the next step that we are going to discuss is drop down list. Now, assume you're working in a school and one of your senior faculty actually approached you and asked for your help. Now, he was making a report of the students' scorecard and he was very finding it very difficult to actually enter the places of the students who are studying in his school. Now, even it's a tedious task to you because a lot of students come from different places, right? So now you actually understood what all kinds of states are basically these students coming from. So, and you just made up the states and made up a table over here, right? So, if you are not knowing this step, you would have to actually enter individually. Like you can actually make a shortcut of Control C and typing if Ram is from Tamil Nadu, you can Control C and Control paste it over in this place, right? So instead of doing that, you could actually use the drop down list, which would actually make things even more simpler. Now let me show you how drop down list works, right? So now you just have to click on the place where you require the data to be entered, right? So first click over here and then go to data and data validation. Now here you can see that validation criteria allow the values from a list. Okay. Now they are asking for the source of the list. Source of the list is this. These are the states of students who are studying in our school, right? Now we'll go ahead and hit OK. Now you can see that we can select the following states that are under the list. Now in order to make this list to all the students, you just have to drag down to the 20th students, and there you go. You can click on whatever state, whichever state the student is from. So basically, in the data, if Ram is from Tamil Nadu, we can go ahead and click Tamil Nadu. If Raj is from Kerala, hit Kerala. If Sob is from Goa, he's from Goa. If Surya is from again Tamil Nadu. See, so it's very easy when you use drop down list instead of using Control C and Control V. And if anyone doesn't, if anyone is going to just type it manually, there may be mistakes in spellings of the states. So all this can be avoided by using drop down lists. So the next tip that we are going to discuss here is define cell name. Now here we have a data set that consists of the scores of two tests that the students have appeared for, and the scores of both the tests are on your screens, right? Now you have to calculate the total. Now in order to calculate the total, you could just actually put in the equal to sign, then click on this, put plus, and click on the next cell and hit the enter. Now this is so easy and simple, right? But in order to understand, like if another user who is not knowing Excel that very properly, now he goes and clicks on this cell and he's seeing that D4 plus E4. What is D4 plus E4? What is this formula that is being used under this cell? So he's going to be really confused. So instead of doing that, if we could actually define a cell name, it would be even more clear to the user who is not even having a very good basics in Excel, right? So let's go ahead and just do that way. So in order to define a cell name, we'll just first click on the range where we are going to define the cell name. Now we'll go to formulas and define name. So here is the name that we are going to give. It's since the header is already score one, it's automatically assigned score underscore one. So I'll just keep it as that way and I'll go ahead and click OK. Now in the same way, I'll go ahead and name the second row, second column, then go to formulas, then go to define names, go to OK. Now what we are going to do here is find the total, that is the sum of score 1 and score 2. Now here I'll use the same way. I'll go equal to and I'll put S. So when I put S, you can see that score 1 appears and I'll just double click on score 1 and then hit the plus button. Then again hit S, score 2, double click and hit enter. See 166. Now I'll just copy down the formula to the till 20th student and there you go. You can see all the sum of all the total is being found out. Now, if you just go ahead and click on any of the cell, you can understand that the total is being found out by using the scores of or the student's score from for test one and then the scores of second test. So this way, any user who comes in from who doesn't have that good knowledge about Excel, when he clicks on the cell, he can understand that this is calculated by using the score one and adding it to the score two. So that's a simple way of actually defining a cell name to make the things more even clear, right? Yeah. All right, guys. So you have completed the intermediate level tips in Excel. Now we are going to move ahead with the advanced level tips. So to start off with, we have removing duplicates. Now, in data where you have to enter a lot of data, there might be some duplicates that gets created. Now, if the data is huge ton loads of data in a Excel workbook, so it's very difficult to actually identify. Now, in this case, the data is very small. So if you have a look through the 10 or 15 data that I have provided here, it's a bit easier to find what is the duplicate that has been entered. Duplicate means the replica is the same entry that goes into a record, right? So if it's a big entry, if it's a big ton of loads of data that is there, if you have to remove the duplicates, you can actually have a pro tip that is here. Now you just have to select the range of data that you want to remove duplicate from. Now go to data, and then you have an option of here that is remove duplicates. Now the remove duplicates can be if the names are the same, you just want to remove the name, or if you just want to remove the places which are the same, or if this is a kind of and or filter. Now I just want everything to be on a checkbox so that any all if everything is the same, then please remove the duplicate, right? So if anything of the sort like the name, place, score one and score two, everything is same, is that is a perfect duplicate, right? So I just checkbox all the four and hit on the OK button. Now you can see that Excel is saying that four duplicate values found and they are removed, and the rest are the 10 unique values remain. See, so that's how you actually remove your duplicates from your data. Now you have proper 10 unique students place scores and scorecards. So now you can actually, if you're going to go ahead and submit your report, you the managers or your senior faculties would not actually find any duplicates, and they would not incur any discrepancies in the data. So this is how you can actually remove duplicates in your Excel workbook. Now let's discuss about the next step, that is goal seek. Now after hearing the term goal seek, if you can understand one thing, that is you might have set some goals in your life, right? And you try to persuade yourself to reach to that goal or seek towards that goal and work hard towards that goal. The same thing happens here. Here you set a goal and Excel calculates how much is the amount that is required to reach that goal. So to make you understand this more clear, let's jump into the example. Now in this example, I'll just zoom in the data for you. So in this example here, you can see that there's a customer who has bought so many items, and he actually wishes the total amount reaches 40,000. Okay, so here are 29 items of item number 1, 35 of item number 2, 45 of item number 3. Now he has to calculate how many quantities of item number 4 should he buy so that the total is 40,000. Now he can actually trial and error with the numbers and see whether it's coming to 40,000. Now instead of using trial and error, you could actually use goal seek. Now to actually, in order to use goal seek, you just have to go to the data tab, go to what if analysis, and hit goal seek. Now here you have to set the cell. Now here setting cell is this one. You have to set it to 40,000, and then by changing cell, this is the cell that requires the change. So now if you go ahead and click the OK, MS Excel will let you know how much amount is actually required to reach the goal of 40,000. See, now you go ahead and hit OK. There you go. MS Excel actually calculated that it requires 21 number of item force to actually reach the goal of 40,000. So there you go. This is actually very helpful in the accounting people. So these people actually deal with a lot of calculation, and I believe that GoalSeek is going to really help them. Now, this is a small example of how I use GoalSeek to actually explain it to you guys. So if you are into any situation where you have to find out to reach a certain goal, how many things are required or what is the calculation that requires, you can actually go ahead and use this pro tip of GoalSeek. All right, so now coming to the third advanced tip, that is 3D referencing. Now, to make you clear, think of a scenario of students writing some few exams in a few months of time. Okay, so there are 3 months that three tests that is getting conducted every month. So we have the data of the students that scored the marks in the month of October, November, and December, right? So what we are going to find out here is that how good the scores of the students in altogether 3 months, all the tests combined. So here is what we are going to calculate the total. So for finding the total, we need to reference the different sheets to actually get the total of the 9 tests that were conducted entirely through 3 months, right? So that is 3 tests per month. Okay. So we are going to actually find out the total of all the students and then compare the marks of who is the best performing students from the final output, right? So to find out the total score of Ram, here we have to cross reference it from the sheets, right? So that's why it is known as 3D referencing. So now let's get started with the 3D referencing. Now let's start off with calculating Ram's total score in only test 1 in all the 3 months, right? So score of 1, we'll just click on the cell where Ram's test score is to be calculated. Then we go to auto sum. Then we'll go to the first month's test, that is October's test. Click on this. Then hold on to the shift key and click on the December test. Now what is actually happening is, now we'll go ahead and click on the enter button and understand what is happening. Now the total of 267 has come up. Now let's understand how. So the first test score in November of Ram was 89. In October it was 89. November it's 89, and December is also 89. So the total has become 267. Just to make you things clear, I'll just add it and show 89 plus 89 plus 89. So it's showing 267, right? So that's the total that has come up. Now I'll just drag it down till the even, so that you can calculate, so all the total gets calculated. Now I'll drag it to the right so that the same formula just applies here. So this is how 3D referencing works. Now we have the total scores of all the students across 9 tests, right? So this is the test for scores of all the months in October, November, and December for test 1. This is the score 2, and this is score 3. This is actually score 2. All right. So that's how it's calculated. So this is out of 900, and now we can calculate who is the best performing students out of them, which has the highest score out of 900. So that's how 3D referencing works. So now moving on to the next advanced step, that is slicers. Now, what is exactly slices means is that it actually slices out data from from a given data. It only shows what we want to see, right? So instead of explaining slices to you, I'll just put in a scenario wherein you will be able to understand with the live workbook. Now, in this data you can see that there is names of students, the places from they come from, and there are scores. Now I want to understand how are the students from Tamil Nadu performing in the exams, or how are the students from Kerala or Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan, UP, Goa, how are these students performing in their test results. Now in order to find out that, we are going to use slices, right? So basically slices actually slices the data from a given data. Now we'll understand how slicing happens. Now, in order to slice data from the given data, we'll first click on the range of data that is given. Then we'll go to the insert option, and there you can see slices. Now, I want to slice the data on the basis of the place and the score that they have obtained. Now, if I go ahead and click OK, I get two slices. See? Now, if I go ahead and I want to check how the students of Tamil Nadu are performing, I'll get only the students who are from Tamil Nadu and what are their scores. Now, if I want to understand the students of Delhi, I'll get the scores of students who from Delhi and what are their scores. What are the scores from Kerala? What are the scores from Madhya Pradesh? So these are the different types of slices that I can create. So this is how from a given data, I am able to slice out the data of the students who are from Delhi, Goa, Kerala. Now, if I just want to ignore all of this, I can just go ahead and click on the into button. Now, I want to understand what are the who and all, how many students scored 99. So there's only one student, Ashwin from Tamil Nadu, who scored 99. Then 98, there's another one student. 95, it's again one student. 94, there are two students. So this is the way that you can actually slice down the data from the given data. So slices are actually very useful when you want to actually segregate and group only a certain particular data from a given data. Now moving on to the next advanced step, that is advanced filters. Now other than the normal filter and the sliders, we have one more filter that we can actually use, that is the advanced filter. Now let's go ahead and understand how to use the advanced filter. Now to use the advanced filter, we have a given data. Now we'll just take up the first headers of this data and paste it over here. This is done to actually make a criteria of filtration. Okay, so now we actually want to filter out the students who are from, for say, Tamil Nadu. So we'll just copy Control C and paste it in Control V. All right. Now, now let's carry on the advanced tip, advanced filter, right? So we'll first move to the data tab. There you can see the option of advanced. Here you can see that if you want to copy if you want to filter it in the list itself, you can do it, or I just want to copy it so that I can see what and all changes has come. All right. So now list range, they're asking for the list range. So I'll select the list range, that is this complete entire list. Now they're asking for the criteria range. So this is the criteria range that I want, and they're asking me about to copy to. So I'll tell that copy it down here. Now, so what is actually happening here is that we're actually going to come out with an output that only shows the students that are from Tamil Nadu and with the details of the scores and the name. All right, so that is what we are trying to get the output here. Now, when we go ahead and hit the OK button, you can see that here is what the output looks like. So these are the number of students who are actually from Tamil Nadu and what are their scores. So this way you can actually make on changes with the place, the score, and the different things, and actually make different outputs in different ways. So if you change the place from Tamil Nadu to Kerala, you could actually get the students whose data is from Kerala, and if you want to change it into Maharashtra, you can get the data from Maharashtra. So that's how advanced filters work. So the next pro tip or the advanced tip that I wanted to discuss with you all is regarding embedding. Now, embedding is the transfer of data in one format to another format. So basically, if I had some data in an Excel and I wanted to actually convert or copy this data into an Excel format, I would actually use embedding. But normal people would actually just copy and paste it into an Word file, right? Now I'll show you what happens when you copy and paste into a Word file that is a data from an Excel file. Now I've copied data that is in an Excel file and I'm going ahead and copying, pasting it inside a Word file. Now, as you can see, the orientation and the alignment of the data that is pasted into a Word file isn't that very good looking, right? So now let's go ahead and undo this, and let's go ahead and understand how embedding and how beautifully embedding is done, and how beautifully it transfer data from one format to another. Now, before you embed anything, you'll have to save the file and close the file so as to embed the entire file, right? So I'll go ahead and close the file. Now you have to carefully look into and have attention to this because I'm going to show you how to embed a file. So inside the Word document, go to the insert option, and then you can see this option that is known as the object. Now go here and choose the option create from file. Go to the browse file, go to this PC. I have my file that is embedding in the desktop, and here I'll link the file. So basically link to file is basically if you have any changes that is made in the original file which is getting embedded, that same changes will happen here also. So that's why we are linking the file. Now if you go ahead and click OK, you can see how beautifully the embedding is done and what and all data was there in the Excel format, how beautifully has it come into the Word format, right? So now I'll go ahead and save this file and close it. Now I wanted to actually I made a mistake in entering this marks of the student. I'll go ahead and update it here, and I'll save this file. Now when I open the Word file, you can see that the Word document saying that this file actually contains the some files that are related to the original file. That's what they are meaning. So here you can see it's 50. That is the older. Now if I go ahead and click yes, it will update it to 45. So any changes that is made in the original file, since we actually checkbox the link to file, that will get updated in Word file also. So that's how embedding is a pro tip for any Excel user. Now coming to the last and final tip for the day, that is advanced select. So this is a easy advanced step actually, to be frank. So basically if you have to select anything particular from a set of data, you can use this tip. So basically this option is inside the home button. You just have to go to find and select and click on the find option. Now you just have to search what do you want to find, right? So I just want to find the people who are studying, who are originated from Kerala. So I'll just go ahead and click on find all. So these are the number of people who are actually studying from Kerala. Now I'll just click Control A and then close it. See, now these are the two students who are studying, who has originated from Kerala. Now I can highlight them, then I can actually change the color and see these all things I can do. I can actually change the color. See, that's how I did it. Now, if I wanted to do some same thing with I just wanted to highlight the students studying from Tamil Nadu, I can do the same. I'll just show it to you once more. I'll go ahead and search Tamil Nadu, and I'll just click find all. Now I'll just click Control A and see all this gets selected, and I'll just close it. Now if I want to highlight it with a different color, I'll choose this color. If I want to make it bold, I'll make it bold. So this is how you advancedly select these kinds of particular field. So in this case, the field was place. So this is the advanced tip of selecting. So with that, we have completed all the tips and tricks in Excel.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.